Imagine sitting in a dark, cold room, strapped into a multi-million-dollar simulator, while a silent evaluator watches your every breath from behind tinted glass. Your heart is hammering at over 110 beats a minute. You spent your whole life dreaming of this moment, building model jets in your bedroom, reading flight manuals instead of sleeping. But the simulator doesn't care about your dreams. It only cares about one thing. When the pressure spikes, do your hands shake? Right now, they are trembling. You take a slow breath, adjust your grip, and bring the nose up. The screen cuts to black. The voice over the intercom just says, "Processing at 0600, that cold." Clinical response is the closest thing to a welcome you will ever get. Welcome to the start of your life as an Air Force fighter pilot at the academy. You are nobody yet. You wake up at 5 in the morning to the smell of floor wax and rigid structure. You run before the sun comes up. You study long after dinner. You learn how lift is generated, how weather systems break down, and what happens to the human body when 7 times the force of gravity pulls the blood right out of your brain. Out of the 240 people who started in your class, dozens drop out before the end of the year. The ones who leave aren't weak or unsmart. They just realize that wanting this isn't enough, or rather wanting it badly enough is a qualification all on its own. You live on coffee and cheat meals, call your parents on Sundays and tell them you're doing fine. And you are, in the way candidates mean it, you're alive. You're breathing, and you're still in the fight. Months later, when you finally graduate and get those gold bars pinned to your uniform, you realize you haven't even touched the controls of a real fighter yet. You've just earned the right to try. That brings you to undergraduate pilot training at a remote base in Texas. 52 weeks. Over 200 hours in high-performance trainers. Every single minute evaluated. Your instructor isn't there to compliment you. He's there to fix your mistakes. You quickly learn that praise only tells you where you've been, but correction tells you how to survive where you're going. Then comes a Tuesday in October. Your instructor steps out of the cockpit, looks at you, and tells you to take the aircraft up alone. You taxi out to the runway, push the throttle all the way forward, and feel the ground drop away. There is no safety net. No one in the back seat. Just you, the machine, and an endless sky. 11 minutes later, when your tires touch the pavement and you walk off the flight line, your legs feel funny. Like the earth is surprised to have you backed out by the end of the year, you earn your wings. Your mother pins them to your chest with trembling hands, but yours are steady now. You get assigned to the most advanced fighter jet on the planet, the F-22 Raptor. You enter your first operational squadron, surrounded by the top graduates from every training class in the country. For the first time, you are completely average in a room full of elite flyers. And that is the best thing that could happen to you. As a wingman, your job isn't to show off. It's to hold formation within inches, execute orders without hesitation, and protect your flight lead. You learn that cockpit communication isn't small talk. Every word costs time, oxygen, and focus, so every word must carry weight. You realize the sky isn't a romantic playground, it's a massive physics problem with lethal consequences for wrong answers. Yet, when you hit supersonic speeds with the horizon tilting underneath you, you realize there is nothing else on Earth that compares to this feeling. By the time you hit 1,000 flight hours, something fundamentally changes inside you. Below 1,000 hours, you are still figuring out what the jet can do. Above 1,000, you start understanding what you are capable of doing inside that cockpit. Now, you are moving to the front of the formation as a flight lead. You aren't just flying your own aircraft anymore. You are responsible for every single person in your element. Your decisions cascade. If you misread an incoming threat or miscalculate your fuel window, the mistakes don't stay in your cockpit. They ripple outward at 1,500 feet per second. Your first real-world tactical deployment comes on a quiet Thursday morning. You take off long before dawn, flying into high-stress airspace that demands every ounce of focus you've built over a decade. 4 hours later, you bring every single aircraft in your formation home safely. During the 2-hour debriefing, your commander questions 3 of your tactical calls. You can justify 2 of them, but the third was an error, and you own up to it out loud in front of your peers. Admitting a mistake to the people who trust you with their lives is harder than anything you ever did at 40,000 feet. But in this profession, accountability is the only thing that keeps people alive. Life outside the cockpit is a delicate balancing act. You miss your daughter's first birthday because you're deployed overseas on an operational cycle. She has a picture of you in your flight suit taped above her crib so she doesn't forget your face. When you finally come home and look at that photo, you feel a mix of intense pride and the quiet, heavy loneliness that comes with choosing a life that demands everything from you. Years pass, and you step into the role of squadron commander. You are now responsible for 24 pilots, hundreds of support crew, and dozens of aircraft. You quickly discover that machines are easy, they fail in predictable ways. People are far more complex when a young lieutenant makes a critical error during a low-altitude exercise and has to make an emergency landing. The investigation lands directly on your desk. After weeks of analyzing training logs, rest cycles, and weather reports, you find 4 systemic issues and 1 human mistake. You fix the system, you mentor the pilot, and you don't destroy his confidence. 6 months later, he becomes one of your sharpest flight leads. That is what true leadership is, converting failure into forward momentum. Eventually, your hair begins to turn gray at the temples. You advance to wing commander, overseeing an entire base with thousands of personnel. You make dozens of critical decisions before breakfast. Your time in the cockpit becomes scarce stolen moments away from administrative weight, spent in the one place where the sky still feels quiet. Decades after that first morning in the simulator, you reach the very top, a 4-star general commanding air operations across an entire theater. You sit in a high-tech command center, watching real-time tracking screens of every mission under your responsibility. You've sat through honor ceremonies, carried heavy burdens, and given your entire life to this calling. And as you look back on it all, you realize it all traces back to one single moment 30 years ago in Colorado, sitting in a dark, simulated cockpit, taking a deep breath, steadying your shaking hands, and choosing not to quit.